Next up on our 2025 CVC Fall Sports Media Day Tour is the Cuyahoga Heights boys golf team. Head coach Johnny Roy. Coach, thanks for joining us here on a Sunday morning. Why don't you give us a quick preview? What can we expect out of the Red Wolves on the course this season?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us. We're a relatively small team, small district. We don't have a ton of kids to kind of pool from, but the kids we do get out. They love sports. They love golfing. They get out. They try to do the best they can. Right now, it's looking like we're gonna have 4 to 6 golfers. A couple of incoming freshmen that are doing pretty good. A couple of seniors that should be all right. So you never know. You can go out there and have a great day, or you can just not be feeling it that morning. So it's all kind of hit and miss. But they have a good time, and our goal is just to get them playing and get them out there loving a sport that they can play for the rest of their lives. And that's really our goal.
Who are some of the key returning players for you?
We got a couple of seniors, Caden Johnston and Jackson Justice, who are going to be four-year lettermen as well. A couple of our freshmen, Dominic Ciano and Dean Barzalowskis. And then we're hoping to pull back in a couple of other kids that are just busy during the summers and haven't had a chance to come out because they're working or they're traveling or family commitments. So that's really what we're kind of trying to do.
And what about some newcomers? Any of those guys making some noise early on in the season?
Like I said, the two freshmen that we have coming in, Dominic and Dean. Dominic's pretty good. He's been playing for a little bit, and he's doing all right. They just got to learn to play golf. You know, they got to learn about shot selection and course management and things like that. So we're hoping to kind of teach them some of those skills and just course awareness that they generally just don't do with their friends when they just kind of go out and spray the ball around. So we want to try to really teach them to compete on the course is what our goal is.
Last week, we got started with the CVC preseason tournament. How satisfied were you with their performance at that tournament?
They did okay. Again, for some of those kids, that was their first time really playing 18 in a high school competition, especially the younger guys. The older guys had done it before. But it was a hot day and walking 18 holes and carrying your bag is not easy. It does start to take the toll on you. And again, fatigue starts to set in. So they're going to have to manage that. I thought Caden did a pretty good job. His goal is to kind of get into the low 90s. So he was right about 100. So we're looking to pick up, 8 or 10 strokes there at an 18-hole course. Jackson hadn't played in a little while because we share him with the soccer program as well. So he hasn't had a lot of chance to play. And again, it's just kind of one of the realities at Cuyahoga Heights is we have to share athletes at times, and they kind of bounce back between the two programs.
Absolutely, yeah. Those small schools have it rough. You've got to take what you can get. But you had 4 kids. They were all pretty close score-wise. You had a 101, a 115, a 116, and then a 132. So obviously you can trim some strokes there. But what's the message to the guys after going out and playing a tournament that way? How do you get them to learn from what they did on the course?
Yeah, it's about course awareness and hole awareness and shot selection. A lot of times they would get themselves in trouble because they're trying to go driver off the tee. And it's like, don't do that. Use a 5-iron, use a 6-iron and hit it 100. I'd rather have you hit 140, 150 yards down the middle than 220 off into the woods. And now you're playing from behind the trees and you're just putting yourself in a bad spot. So we're really going to work on and talk to them a lot about shot selection and club selection about, what are you hitting well today? What can you hit straight? And the more you can do that, the more you're going to be in the fairway and just the easier shots you're setting yourself up for. So we're really going to stress that with them, working and reading greens, things like that. Because there's a lot of strokes there that we'd left on the greens that we could probably shave off. So, the 134 was Dean. He's, again, kind of brand new to it. And again, I think fatigue really starts to set in a little bit, and then they just get mentally worn out and they're just hitting instead of playing.
You segued into my next question, kind of touching on the mental side of golf. What is it that you're trying to teach the kids about that part is just kind of controlling, what they can control on the course?
Yeah, and it's about limiting mistakes. It's about limiting, putting yourself in bad spots. And then instead of fixing it and just punching out sideways and get back in the fairway, they, try to, I can go over this tree. I can go in between these trees. I can clear there. I can carry that sand. It's like, no, you can't. So don't do that. Take the safe shot, punch it back out, get into the fairway, and then just progress down the hole from there. So again, a lot of it is just a little bit more awareness and understanding that, look, you don't have to hit you driver off the tee every single time just because maybe another kid is doing it. You got to play your game and the clubs that you can hit straight.
That's a message for all of us. I still
Yeah,
struggle with that.
sure.
I still,
Yeah.
I still try to clear the trees, and it never works. But you
Yeah.
always try. How are you going to define success for this group since you've got a variety of skill level there?
Yeah, I think we measure success just by improvement, just kind of tracking their improvement over the course of a season, watching them play. Are they making the changes? Are they making better decisions? Are they making smarter shots and smarter approaches to a hole or a situation? Really just kind of monitoring those sort of things and keeping an eye out for that. And as long as we're seeing them making smarter decisions with club selection and how they're playing holes, then I think that we're teaching them something good that they can carry on and use for the rest of their life.
Outstanding, Coach. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of the day to preview the season. I wish you guys the best of luck this fall.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate the time.